Because we were listening to The Slow Rush on vinyl, what's your favorite track from that album?
It's tough.
3, 2, 1.
One More Year. First song.
See, that's so funny. You and I have had this conversation. You tend to like the first track.
I do.
On a record. I like the last one.
I love that one. And it is, I think, objectively better than...
Yeah. Not specifically just even with the album, that specific album, but like...
Albums in general. Yeah.
Like,
I don't know, because I'll start listening to an album and it'll just start with a bang. And I'm like, that's the best.
Yeah. And the
rest of the album has to live up to that.
Right. And I always like the last song because it's always kind of... it's not all, I mean, depending on what you're listening to, but tends to be more dark and moody and deep. Sort of brings it's
probably the most emotional
project to like fruition.
Right.
You know,
it's the finale.
Yeah.
When you really think of it. Yeah.
I love One More Hour.
I do too.
And Posthumous Forgiveness because
actually, I think my favorite is, If I
I can't believe it. I can't believe. Yeah, that's a great song.
I forget the name of that song.
Same.
That's really bad.
That is bad. If I looked at the album, is it like, I feel like I'm getting worse at that as I'm getting older.
Probably.
Like not being able to remember the track names, but like it's funny too because my mom is that way. She's like, I can't remember the track name, but like I remember how the song goes, and I'm like, oh God, am I aging? Because that's what I'm turning into.
Yeah, it happens. It's Breathe Deeper.
Yeah.
And then also I just looked at the track listing. Posthumous Forgiveness.
What did I say?
You said one more. No, I said One More Year.
I said One More Hour.
One More Hour.
Because that's the last track. Mm-hmm. But then I said I also love Posthumous Forgiveness.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Oh. You're not listening to me?
Not really.
Shrugs shoulders.
I'll listen to you later.
Okay. I want to run it back to a reel that I saw.
How about Welcome, though?
Oh, yeah. Welcome. Welcome. My bee. Sorry, I'm just, when I get in a mood, I'm ready to just go.
Fair.
So there was a reel that I watched on ATL Scoop. If you don't live in Atlanta, that is an Instagram handle dedicated for, news things kind of going on in Atlanta. I mean, it's
like civilian crime videos.
Yeah. That's predominantly what it is. But it's kind of interesting to follow. I don't actually follow it. I just will look it up like once a month. Just to check in to see like, am I good or is this just,
if we ever
propaganda? Like I don't
see a lot of sirens.
Yeah.
We're like, check ATL Scoop.
Yeah. And I'm like, is this West Midtown? Nope. Okay. Who cares?
Oh.
I'm kidding. No.
Really,
but there was this reel and it was talking about a fugitive who is on the loose in Atlanta. They had identified 2 of the potential suspects, and then they were still looking for one. And they made this reel and they added music to it. Mm-hmm. And it was
weird already.
Which is weird already. It's like, what are we doing here? They like tried to make it sexy. And I'm like, this is really... where are we at? But the song that they put to the reel was a song by Gesaffelstein, which I don't know if you guys know this. It's a deep house French. It's a French deep house artist.
He's not German?
No.
Oh,
he's French.
German.
And it's very like grungy and like dirty, just like deep house. And I was like, what am I watching right? Why is there deep house music to like a fugitive on the loose?
A most wanted poster.
Why is there music to it? And like, let
Especially
alone
that music.
deep house. Like, it was just bizarre. And
what is it? A fucking club invitation?
Yeah. I was like, what?
Come watch this guy get arrested.
What like dystopian society am I already living in?
For fucking real.
Yeah, it was kind of wild. Yeah. And Anders would like to say cheers as he takes a shot of Tullamore Dew.
DEW.
Blah, 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 blah. Tullamore DEW. Oh, I guess it is DEW and not
Technically,
Dew.
it is.
Yeah.
I don't know what that stands for.
Not my fave. What's your favorite whiskey?
Ooh. Recently, Bullet bourbon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Honestly, same. I had a Manhattan the other day with Maker's Mark.
Maker's Mark's good.
I didn't like it.
Really?
And I historically have enjoyed Maker's Mark, and with a Manhattan, I didn't like it. And
it's pretty standard.
I know Manhattans are typically made with rye.
Oh.
But everyone can shove it.
Well, yeah.
But
suck your own dick, everyone.
They always ask, they're like rye or bourbon. And I'm like, okay, so bourbon is acceptable. I prefer bourbon. But I had the Maker's Mark, and it was very, really vanilla-y.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that.
Oh, well, see, I think that's why they make it with rye.
Yeah.
Because bourbon's typically made for sipping straight or for a sweeter drink.
Right.
Like an old fashioned.
Right. I've been drinking a lot of Manhattans recently. I've been enjoying, I forgot I liked whiskey. I know I said this already in a previous episode, but like, I just want to really double down on that because
whiskey's the best.
Here's the thing. Probably in 2 weeks, I'm going to have too many Manhattans and I'm going to be over whiskey. So I want to double down on it now to just say I like it. And then when I'm over it in 2 weeks, I'm going to tell that story about how I really overdid it.
This is for the content.
This is for future me. Yeah.
I'll hold you to that.
March Madness has been wild.
Wow. Bringing up sports.
Well, kind of.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I'm not really into college sports. It's okay. Here's my deal with college sports. When you really think about it, it's a bunch of children running around, whatever sport it is. I don't care. But you see these like grown ass men and women just yelling.
Yeah, 50-year-olds.
At these 18, 19-year-olds. Mm-hmm. I mean, some of them, okay, sure. They might be 21, 22.
Some even 24.
Fine. But a lot of them are real young. And even 24. What were you doing when you were 24?
Blacking out and...
You were a child.
No, not by law.
Not by law. But you were still...
Acting like a child, yeah.
Still acting like a child. I mean, I still act like a child now, and I'm 31.
Yeah, I didn't know shit.
Not to the extent of that. But you hear what I'm saying? Like,
of course,
it's these older. Even me being my age, when I'm like, no, fuck that, or like,
I do it too.
Yeah, and I'm like, wait, these are kids,
right?
And like football, the whole thing, all of it, it's like really kind of weird and icky to me in a way. It is icky. It's kind of yucky.
College level, you mean? Or just in general?
No, the college level is yucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about pro, though?
No, pro I'm cool with.
Yeah. They get paid millions of dollars.
Yeah.
They can
and
they can fuck themselves.
Yeah. And they're older a little bit. You know,
some of the people in the NBA are younger than some people in college.
That's okay. That's true. That's true.
It happens. You know, if you graduate, you don't graduate.
Right.
You leave early for the pros. Right. Yeah.
But like, I don't know. Pros just feels different to me.
Because you're getting paid.
Totally. And a lot of them too. The ones that I'm maybe yelling at are maybe older. Regardless. So March Madness is happening. I'm not doing too well. I submitted a bracket with Anders' podcast, whatever you want.
At what you want pod.
Shameless plug. So did a bracket through them, and I'm not doing so hot because I had Kentucky in the final.
Kansas.
And Kentucky.
Oh, you had both?
Yeah.
Oh, they're both out. Yeah.
I'm almost positive. I think I had Kansas and Kentucky, so that was a loss for me. But I
had Purdue, and they got beat first round by 16 seed.
Yeah, that's a
second time in history.
It's a real bummer. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we were watching the other day, and one of the announcers was like, he said something, just commenting on the game, and he was like, diving for loose balls. And I was like, diving for loose balls.
We were watching the Miami game, I think.
Yeah, probably.
It's like, look at him just diving for loose balls.
I'm like, diving for loose balls. What the fuck does that mean? Of course,
you know what it means.
Of course, if you're diving for the ball, isn't it loose already? Like, what's a loose ball? Just a ball on the loose? Like, no one has it in their hand?
Correct.
But, like, can they say something else? I don't know.
What do you think of when you hear diving for loose balls?
I think of someone in a pool where like someone has their balls cut off and they're like diving for rings.
Yeah, or like cherry or apple picking.
Apple bobbing.
Just balls.
Yeah, bobbing for loose balls. Yeah, it's so weird. Like
bobbing for loose balls.
Can they say, I don't know, I feel like they could say anything else. It doesn't have to be loose. Why the adjective?
Well, because if you're diving for a non-loose ball, that means someone has it in their hand.
Right, but just say diving for the ball. Like,
okay, all right.
I don't think they need...
I'll tell Jim Nance.
Yeah, I don't know who that is, but go ahead and let him know, I guess. Let Cam Newton know, too.
Yeah, Cam Newton.
Anyways, moving on from March Madness, because this is not a fucking sports podcast, as I hope you guys know. I like to provide a little reading update, too. Haven't done that in a while. Right now, I am reading Norwegian Wood by Haruki Murakami.
Oh, I thought you meant by the Beatles.
Well, that's where it comes from, the song.
That's where the song comes from, or that's
where that's where the book comes from. The song.
Norwegian Wood.
Yes, it actually opens with that. But yeah,
it opens with lyrics.
No, just talking about talking about that song playing.
Cool.
So yeah, it pops up kind of throughout the book. But anyways, really enjoying it so far. I've wanted to read Murakami for a long time, and group of girls who I'm close with, Juana, Denise, Sam, shout out. We all have been wanting to read it, and so we were like, fuck it, let's just do it. So it's not really an orchestrated book club per se, but it's more so, yeah, we've all had this on our list. Let's just read it at the same time and go to dinner. You know, why not? So I'm almost done with it. I'm a big fan of it. It's I really like coming of age type stories.
Ask you what's it about. Yeah.
Coming of age stories where people are really bad, like teenagers and you know, young adults are really just bad with communication. But it's so well, it's just like palpable in the book of like, oh wow, like I can see this playing out. I feel it. I've maybe been there. I've been in this type of situation. So, I feel like some novels, there's almost too much telling of feelings and emotions, and like it to be so dialed in, it leaves less room for imagination for the reader. I think when you read a lot and, you know, I think more, how do you say it? Like, I don't want to say tenured authors, just like, okay, let's say good authors. Like they know where to leave break and space for the reader, you know? So at first I kind of hated it, but now I'm like,
you hated it?
No, well, I didn't hate it. At first it took me a minute to adjust to, because you never know like how, because I've never read him before, so I don't quite know his style.
Sure.
And so when reading at first, it frustrated me because I wasn't getting enough, and then I was like, oh no, okay, I get it now. And so I have like, I'm someone who annotates in books, and I underline and write things. Yeah. I always have a pen with me while I'm reading, and I'll like write notes and write like things after the chapter.
And who's that for? You?
It's for me.
So when you go back and read, you reread it? Or?
Well, no, I also think it's I really like sharing books with people too. And so I think it's cool to
have your thoughts,
have my thoughts kind of written in there, almost as like, oh, it's like we're doing a book club, but like it's
by yourself.
Not, yeah. So it's for me when I go back and read, because I've looked at a bunch of my books from like high school that I annotated in, and it's cool to see
what you thought,
what I thought,
or how you processed it,
what my teacher was telling me to write.
True.
You know?
True.
Yeah. I mean, really, that was it. But yeah,
that's interesting. Yeah, I've always heard like to be a good reader, you have to like take notes or like highlight or underline or like, you know, make a little bracket in the margin. It's active reading.
It's active reading and like it's questioning what is going on. Like, you don't, just because you are reading something doesn't mean you have to agree with it or just go along with it. Or, you know, so that's why I like to underline things and question, like, what did the author really mean by this? Or like, I disagree with how this was phrased, or like this character development or something. So
how does that translate to a novel then? Because a novel is just like the writer's kind of making it up.
Right.
So it's like you kind of do have to surrender and just let them take you on the
You do have to surrender and let them take you on the ride. But I think there's things to pick out, because obviously writers are writing in a particular and thoughtful fashion. You know, they're putting things in certain places on purpose. They're using certain words for certain reasons. And so I think, like, even for example, I was reading Animal by Lisa Taddeo, and a lot of the words that she chose were very visceral and carnivorous almost, and that really tied into and it really tied into, like, I mean, it's called Animal. Anyways, back to Norwegian Wood. I'm enjoying it so far, and yeah, it's very, I have a lot of thoughts on it. I will share those when I am finished. I always like to post my reviews on my Instagram story and share that, because not only is this a podcast, but it's a place for me to be, you know, nerdy about books and just share all of that and my thoughts and reviews.
It's a place for you to vent.
Yeah, place for me to vent and to just like share. I love getting book recommendations, especially, you know, just from my friends, from random people who, and I hate to say the word random, but like just, you know, people who I don't talk to on a regular basis. And it's great to see what people recommend. I mean, unless it's Colleen Hoover, and then, you know, I kind of know where I stand with that person. But I will keep sharing book reviews whether you like it or not. So strap in. It's really for me. But I think a lot of people have enjoyed it. So, want to switch gears again to spirits. Ooh, and not alcohol. I mean, ghosts.
Nice pun. Nice dad joke.
Yeah. So, I recently have learned from my half sister. I'll call her my sister because, you know, she is, I guess. We didn't grow up together. So my sister, she told us that on my dad's side, on the Filipino side, we have a lineage of mediums and helots, which are like, so a helot is a form of Filipino ancient, like, body healing. So, anyways, we come from a long line of that. And I was like, wow, that's really fascinating. And we're talking about how she keeps seeing, or like feeling our dad around, and like lights will flicker and things will move and such. And I'm totally bought into that. I have always been. I've had my fair share of strange experiences after my dad has passed. And so we all went to, me, my cousin, my sister, her partner, my brother, and Anders. We all went to lunch on Sunday, and we were talking about just these experiences and sharing this information about our lineage. And I was like, it's so funny because I will go places and I'll hear Michael Jackson at the most random times. And yes, I recognize Michael Jackson is probably a frequently played artist.
He is one of the most famous artists of all time.
But it's strange in the situations that I do hear him. And so within not even 10 minutes of me sharing this, Michael Jackson comes over the speaker, and it's one of my dad's favorite songs by Michael Jackson. That's the kicker.
That's
PYT.
the kicker, right.
And I was like, oh my God. And all of us just stopped.
What does PYT stand for?
Pretty Young Thing.
Pretty Young Thing.
And we all just stopped and we were like, whoa. It was just it was weird, the timing. And so anyways, we, decided that we were going to go to this crystal and like bookshop after lunch. And so we went to, it's called Phoenix and Dragon Bookstore over in like Sandy Springs. And so we go and I got some new crystals and my sister got me this Florida water. And I don't know if anyone knows what Florida water is. It's something new that I've been introduced to, but basically it's been tracked all the way back to the 1800s, and it's used for like cleansing and like renewal and getting rid of bad energy. And it can also be used to invoke spirits, actually. But it also can be used to cleanse as well. So I had this Florida water. I got my new crystals. I'm at the house. And so Sunday night, go to bed, wake up Monday morning. Anders, I hear him. He leaves the house around like 6:15, 6:20. So I woke up. I had my alarm set for 7:30. At 6:40, I feel this tapping on my foot, and Anders like usually taps me on the foot before he leaves the house. If he leaves before me, just say bye, whatever. So I feel this tapping on my foot and I wake up and Anders had already left the house. No one is there. And I'm looking around. Moo, our cat, is nowhere to be found in the room. And I like freak out. I was like, oh my God. And so I turn on the light. I'm like looking around. Is there someone in the house? No one in the house. And it was so wild. And I was awake at that point. No fucking shot. I was going to sleep after that. Like, I mean, there was a spirit. I don't know if it was my dad or something in the house, but I'm like, oh my God, what energy did I bring into this home from this
something
crystal store? Something was tapping me, and it was bizarre. So if you don't believe in spirits, sorry, but I do, and they exist and they're around, and booyah.
Okay.
One thing I want to touch on is the Vanilla Girl aesthetic, which is on TikTok. I guess it's some trend, but it's basically about clean girl and everything being in neutral tones and white and beige and just shades of that. And I just get lost of like where we got here and why we're getting rid of color. Like there's so much celebration around color, and color brings joy. Like I feel like I hate going into homes and just seeing white walls, white marble countertops, like tan cabinets, like there's no character to anything. It's just like this empty shell of what, and I hate it. Do you
like our countertops?
Our countertops are fine because there's so much other color in our home.
There you go. Yeah.
Like they're so like, we don't have a lot of just white in here.
So what you're saying is like, it's fine as long as you have other color.
Well, yeah, because predominantly the home is not white. the walls are white and the counters are white, but we have, you know, brick walls, like wood, beautiful original hardwood floors. We have furniture that's lots of different colors. Like not everything is just like white and marble and tan and, you know, shades of that. Like there's so much more there. And I don't know. I hate that we're getting away from this. And there was an infographic that I saw of where we were back in like the 90s and even early 2000s of, you know, logos and restaurants and advertisements and things having so much color. And when you look at things now, everything it's so modernized, but to the point where everything is just sterile. Like nothing has character anymore.
Yeah.
It's all just like cookie cutter the same. And I think color is
too clean.
Yeah. Color is how you achieve
emotion,
like joy and emotion and like an aspect of culture too. Like color is celebrated in so many cultures, and it just is strange, and I don't like it.
Yeah, well, what do you think it is? Because obviously these businesses like have research done, and it's like they're not just abandoning something that works. Obviously this works now.
Because it's a
why do we like it? Why do people like it?
I think a lot of people like it because it feels
sterile.
And I don't think people like it because it feels sterile. I think people like it because it feels like soothing in a way, because there's not a lot going on. There's not a lot of distraction or
or like, oh, I've never seen that before. That's weird to me. I don't like it. To a level of that too. And I think people are we've shifted, things just have it's more modern. It's a more modern look and feel. But at the end of the day, like, why are we just whitewashing everything? Why are we getting rid of like color? Literally whitewashing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just not, I don't like it. So
there's nothing better to me than a home that has like navy blues and, deep reds,
like terracotta, dark green.
Yeah.
Like, just like lots of.
It doesn't feel like color. A home.
Right. It feels like you're in a hospital.
Right.
And so I don't know. I don't know how we got here and why why people crave that so much.
That's
like
a good question.
I don't not get it. I wish it wasn't everything and what like the standard was for
a luxury
style.
Or right.
Everyone wants to wear.
There's no style in plain white.
No,
unless there's exceptions.
If you're French, sure. But even French, like they play, like, even though they wear classic, like kind of neutral tones, like there's still color. They wear like jeans and like a red lip and maybe a nice like leather bag with some color. Like it's so
complemented with the black or the
I'm not saying get rid of whites and blacks and neutral colors, but like, why is that it? Why is that all? I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I don't love it. I am rejecting the vanilla girl aesthetic, and also the fact that it's called vanilla girl aesthetic makes me want to like rip my eyes out with toothpicks. Like I don't.
What is vanilla girl? I mean, it has to mean a basic white bitch, right?
Yeah, and and I guess that's the point. Like, it is basic, but like it just I don't know.
But that aesthetic transcends races. It's not just basic white bitches that love that. No, it's just like everywhere. Like people tend to be drawn to that new thing, and it's like, not new, I guess.
Yeah,
it's trendy.
That's how I feel about like Botox. Like people are going to be dissolving their filler and all that shit.
Are.
Like, I will stand by this. I'm not doing that to my face. I'm not. It's all of that stuff.
I appreciate you.
Yeah. Well, it's just such a trend, and it's not for me. To each their own.
You don't
but like,
need it. You look like 5 years ago than you already are.
It's not for me, and I think we need to, like, when you're making very, semi-permanent cosmetic changes like that.
Yeah.
Like it's
I mean, if you want
it's
it, do
scary.
it, fine.
It's scary that it's so easily accessible. That's what makes it scary,
That's true.
because it just anyone can go do it for the most part.
Right.
You know, you got a couple $100, go do it.
Maybe I should.
For what?
You tell me.
You don't have any wrinkles. I mean, you'll have them soon enough.
Okay,
you got gray
here's the
hair,
question.
but
If you were to pick one plastic surgery operation for me,
for you,
yeah, what would you pick for me? Like, I have no say in it.
one plastic surgery.
I don't know, one
operation?
of those.
I mean, there's like quite a range. Maybe I would give you a BBL, a Brazilian butt lift. Maybe I'd add more meat into your
Are you kidding?
ass.
Have you looked at my ass?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You
I
told
got
me to
tree
pick one.
trunks.
For legs?
Oh, I see. So remove some from the legs and put it in the ass.
No.
You
Keep
want a
your
baseball
legs.
ass?
Keep your legs. Just, yeah.
You want a baseball ass?
Yeah. I'm sorry. You don't have a baseball ass.
No, I do not, because
Yeah.
I don't play baseball.
Right. I don't know if I have a list this week. Do you have an idea for a list?
No.
Cool. Okay.
Oh, no. Well, I was going to say top breakfast foods, but
Top breakfast foods.
It's really dumb.
No, hot take, I hate brunch.
You hate brunch.
Yeah. Why am I going to pay $45 for
Eggs
and like 2 pieces of bacon and like a mimosa, which I don't even like?
Yeah,
I don't want to put orange juice in my champagne. I barely even want to drink champagne because it hurts my stomach now.
You don't like mimosa?
No.
What?
No, I don't like a mimosa. I just do it because like it's what you do sometimes, but like
Wow.
I don't like a mimosa.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Well, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Episode 36. Hope that you come back next week.
Yeah. That's the goal.
That's the goal. All right. Love you, hookahs. See you next week.